This is a male fig tree, and that one is female. Some plants have distinct male and female individuals. Today, we're talking about figs because of a tiny 2-millimeter creature, the fig wasp. These inconspicuous insects are the lifeline of fig trees. If fig wasps go extinct, fig trees will disappear. This is no exaggeration. It's an iron law forged over tens of millions of years of coevolution. Fig trees have separate male and female individuals. Both produce bulb-like structures that look like fruit. Only female trees grow the sweet, edible figs we love. Every ripe fig you've eaten is technically female. Male figs never become tasty fruit. They serve only as nurseries for the wasps. Female figs do not produce pollen. So how do they get pollinated? Through a dramatic suicide pollination ritual. A newly hatched female wasp emerges from a male fig completely covered in pollen. She is already pregnant. She has only about 48 hours to live. She must quickly find another fig to enter, or the entire cycle collapses. What looks like a fruit is actually a closed chamber called a zirconium, containing hundreds of tiny flowers inside. The female wasp, guided by scent, arrives and doesn't know whether it's a male or female fig. She forces her way through an extremely narrow opening called the ostiole. The entrance is so tight. She often breaks her wings or even loses her antennae in the process, but she doesn't care. She will never need to fly again. She is destined to die inside. Once inside, the female waspy uses her long ovipositor to inject hundreds of eggs directly into the flower ovaries. Mission accomplished? The exhausted mother dies. The fig tree halts fruit ripening and turns ovaries into nurseries. The tree secretes nutrient-rich tissue to feed the developing wasp larvae. It's a perfect trade. The wasps pollinate the tree, and the tree provides shelter and food for the wasps. The larvae feast in the darkness, grow, pupate, and eventually become adults. The first to hatch are blind, wingless males. They crawl out of their galls and use their astonishingly long, extendable genitalia to mate with their sisters. Yes, sibling incest is completely normal in the world of fig wasps. After mating, the males use their powerful jaws to chew an escape tunnel out of the fig, then die inside. When the females emerge, they crawl past pollen-covered flowers, get dusted with pollen once again, and fly off to continue the cycle. Sometimes, fate delivers a dark twist. The female wasp accidentally enters a female fig. The female tree stigmas are too long for her ovipositor to reach the ovaries. She tries desperately to lay her eggs. In this futile struggle, she unwittingly smears the pollen she carried from the male fig onto the flowers, completing pollination. Eventually, she exhausts herself and dies inside. The fig tree digests her body for nutrients, and then calmly develops into a plump, juicy, seed-filled sweet fruit. This is the famous kiss of death. One tiny wasp sacrifices her life to bring the delicious figs to our tables. This obligate mutualism has lasted over 70 million years. There are roughly 750 species of figs. Nearly every one has its own specific fig wasp partner. Together, they have shaped tropical rainforests. Without them, many animals that depend on figs for food would face crises. Who loves eating these female figs the most? The great hornbill. These large, majestic birds are true guardians of the forest and play a critical role in seed dispersal. Figs are their absolute favorite food. A single hornbill can consume huge quantities of figs in a day, spreading seeds across the forest. But what's truly jaw-dropping is their elaborate courtship and breeding ritual. During breeding season, males show off by flying and fighting midair, dramatically clashing their large, ornate casques. The bigger and more impressive the casque, the more attractive the male, basically the animal version of bigger helmet, Hotter guy. Once a male wins a female's attention, he begins bringing her gifts, mostly fresh figs. The female tests his patience and reliability because she will soon entrust her life to him. They practice passing food beak to beak like a romantic couple. When she finally accepts him, they perform a beautiful love duet, singing together, affectionately rubbing beaks, and flying side by side. Finally, they find a natural tree hollow. The female enters, and the pair seals the entrance tightly with mud, wood chips, feces, and fruit pulp, leaving only a small vertical slit. The female is now walled in for up to 4 months. During this time, she sheds all her flight feathers and becomes completely flightless. She depends entirely on the male, who may deliver food up to 80 times a day. Inside the narrow space, she lays eggs, incubates them, and raises the chicks. When the space becomes too crowded, the female breaks out, while the chicks instinctively reseal the hole with their own droppings and continue waiting for their parents. The whole family stays together for a few more weeks, until the young learn to fly independently. Hornbills form lifelong bonds, a powerful symbol of dedication and trust. The female's complete dependence on the male's loyalty during this period means any failure could be fatal. Next up is the cane toad. Australians absolutely despise these toxic invaders, yet scientists are eagerly studying their toxins for potential cancer treatments. These poison kings will eat almost anything, but during breeding season, their behavior becomes even wilder. They will attempt to mate with almost anything that moves. Other toads, different frog species, shoes, bottles, and even snakes. Breeding usually begins with the first rains. Males gather near water and call loudly to attract females. Females hop toward the sound, but males will latch onto anything that moves. If it's another male, he gives a release call. If it's a different species, the victim may die from the toxin. When a real female arrives, it turns into a frantic race. The first male to reach her grabs her and others may pile on, sometimes forming a mating ball that can suffocate the female. If successful, the female lays a long string of jelly-like eggs, up to 35,000 at once. The male fertilizes them externally, then both parents leave. The eggs hatch into tadpoles in just 3 days and become tiny toadlets in about 2 months. This incredibly fast reproduction is why they have spread so aggressively. Introduced to Australia in 1935 with just 2,400 individuals, they have now exploded in numbers, poisoning countless native predators with almost no natural enemies. They have even evolved longer legs and stronger dispersal abilities, turning the invasion front into super toads that push forward rapidly. Finally, one of the toughest animals on Earth, the rhinoceros. Only 5 species remain. Their incredibly thick skin is almost bulletproof against small caliber bullets, and they need every bit of that armor. During mating season, rhinos are mostly solitary. Males defend territories marked with urine and dung. When a female in heat enters a male's area, he detects her scent and begins persistently following her. Even if she initially chases him away, they may spend weeks together, grazing and traveling. If another male approaches, a fierce battle erupts, considered one of the most dangerous fights in the animal kingdom. They charge at full speed, stab with their horns, and can fight for over an hour, sometimes to the death. When the female is ready, the male mounts her. Mating can last anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour and may be repeated over several days. The male continues to guard her for days or even weeks afterward to prevent rival males from approaching. This dramatic bluff and bluster courtship can turn into raw, violent combat. After mating, the female carries the calf for 15 to 18 months and gives birth to a 50-kilogram baby. She will not mate again for about 3 years, which makes population recovery extremely slow. Combined with habitat loss and poaching, Rhinos face a serious extinction crisis. Every successful birth feels like a hard-won victory. Male guppies are almost always ready to mate. Females, however, are often uninterested. If a female ignores him, the male frequently forces the mating anyway. He chases her persistently and uses his hook like on a podium to latch onto her. Once hooked, mating is over in seconds. He releases his sperm and swims away. Females mate with multiple males and can store sperm for months, allowing them to give birth repeatedly without mating again. Guppies are live bearers. Females give birth to 30 to 60 fry every month. This supercharged reproductive ability is why they have become invasive in many parts of the world. The male's coercive mating strategy, though it sounds brutal, ensures rapid gene propagation. In your aquarium, if you see males constantly chasing females, that's pure instinct at work. From the fig wasp's ultimate sacrifice to the hornbill's lifelong devotion, from the cane toad's frenzied breeding to the rhino's bloody battles, and the guppy's forced mating, nature's love stories are never they are filled with survival pressure, sacrifice, and raw violence. These tales remind us that every living thing is using the most extreme methods possible to pass on its genes. The next time you bite into a sweet, juicy fig, remember, a tiny wasp once gave her life to make that sweetness possible.